It has been 18 days since Chris last begged for money. 18 days since Chris last claimed to be Jesus Christ, and 124 days since Chris has been in custody. My name is Gibby, and welcome to the Chris Chan Monthly Update for the month of November 2021. What better way to start off this monthly review of November than by jumping all the way back to October? Now, I have previously said that I would not be talking about the identities of the people who are writing to Chris in jail, because I don't want to, incentivize them. But in this case, it's a little different, because it's coming from Kenneth Engelhardt, who's been in the Chris community for a very long time. He was one of Chris's enablers in the mid-2010s. It's like if Jacob Sockness were to write a letter to Chris in jail, I would tell you it was Jacob. If XXX Super Mario Maker 42 on Twitter writes to Chris in jail, I'm not going to tell you who that is. So Chris actually responded to Kenneth on October 25th, but we just got the letter leaked a couple days ago. So this is Chris's response. Keep in mind, we don't know exactly what Kenneth wrote to Chris. I don't know why I'm still wearing headphones for this. Hey Kenneth, I received your letter late last week, and I was low on paper, full sheets, that were blank on both sides until today with 2 letter pads from the commissary. In response to your letter, firstly, and I quote the inmate handbook, quote, "Paperback books only must be mailed directly to you from the publisher, not a bookstore," unquote. Also, used books are not allowed, new/mint only, and require prior approval of the administration of Chief of Security. So I think we can take a minute and pause and figure out that Kenneth probably wanted to send Chris a book, but the jail's rules are that you can only get new books from the publisher to prevent people from sending you, I don't know, knives that are carved into used books. Books not coming directly from the publisher will be returned to sender. This had met my concern and curiosity after reading of your intentions to send a book. Unfortunately, just yesterday, the 21st, the book had arrived to the facility, but I got the notice form that I signed and suggested they return the book. Return postage at my expense. Opportunity to just reject the book, and he only sent it back because he likes Kenneth and he wants Kenneth to be able to return the book. So no, if you send a book to Chris, he will not have to return it with his own money. You may want to contact that bookstore you ordered the book from to confirm refunding of at least the book price. Consolation. The commissary does offer a copy of the Holy Quran for $11.95, and a generous fan donated very well recently. So I've ordered a copy that I'll receive this coming Friday. If you wish, you may donate $15 to my inmate account, counting the $3 fee deduction, and I'll cite you as the individual who gifted me a Quran. Thank you, Kenneth. That aside, it does not surprise me at all that my letter and revelation of me being the literal reincarnation of Jesus Christ would receive such a massive number of views and responses. You have done well, as foreknown for years and expected of you. You may or may not be aware of this, or got the hint and message before, but I meditate a lot. Involuntarily, 24/7, 365 plus 1. And for me to meditate consciously and actively is to dive even deeper and deepest into everything out of this earth and all universes, cosmos, and dimensions of this very timeline, but also the infinite multiverse and beyond. And even the Akashi records, among which. So, I have access to all greater and ultimate knowledge, insights, wisdoms, and everything. And I know all there is of the past, present, and future. That being said, your input on my relations in my past life over 2,000 years ago, and the connections to Islam and Muslims is nothing new to me, and only offers the reminder and reconfirmation of details and interests my body to make conscious of these Quran details for itself. So what I'm getting here is that Chris said he was Jesus. This guy said something to the effect of, how does that play into the Islamic beliefs? How does that play into Islam? Maybe you would fit better with the deity of that religion. And Chris is saying, oh, well, I already know everything about that, so you're right, but also send me a Quran because I want to read it because I don't actually know anything. And you can guarantee I am and will speak true and fact with you and all, as I also have before. The only thing worse than Chris's normal nonsense way of talking is Chris's normal nonsense way of talking now that he thinks he's mimicking the Bible. It's Chris Chan in ye olde English for you to individually comprehend for yourself. It is possible for you to learn for yourself, but do not fly too close to the sun and download too much information into your brain that you overload it and disable yourself from accessing the information again. I keep my brain on good maintenance of information storage for what I require in each passing moment. I am well aware of your mental limitations and restrictions as well, Kenneth, so I warn you now that thou art encouraged to seek thy information in meditative, is it meditative and not meditative? Meditative is the name of a portable metal toilet safety bar with adjustable width and height detachable, tool-free assembling for quick look. I think the word he's looking for is meditative. Just a side note, Chris actually wrote meditative correctly in his handwritten letter. It's the quickie that wrote this incorrectly when they typed it up, and that's what I'm reading from. I warn you now that thou art encouraged to seek thy information in meditative connections, but exercise conscious caution for yourself. Between you and I, Kenneth, I do wonder which is the better kisser, Judas or Joshua C. Noel Moon. Like, I get it. I get the biblical allusion that Judas kissed Jesus, but why does he have to say it like that? Also, I've made instant chicken ramen noodle soup today in a Coke bottle and ate the soup from an 8-ounce foam cup. I utilized a folded twice sheet of paper for a funnel, and get the crushed dry noodle bits into the bottle. For the cold I'm still recovering from, the soup was spiritually satisfying and shakingly good and fun to make. Nissin was the brand of the soup. I also know dry noodle in my soup. Be safe and well, Kenneth, and go forth in peace and clarity, by my power and glory as God. Take care. Mrs. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, the Goddess Blueheart, and Lord Messiah, Savior and God of all. It's a beautiful message, Chris. So the next letter we get from Chris is also to Kenneth. It's dated on October 30th. So again, we can kind of assume that Kenneth has responded, which is a letter that we don't get to see, but we'll be able to see if there's anything in here that we can try to pick up from what he said. Also, this is my first time reading through these. That's what I do every time. I don't know if I made that clear. Hey Kenneth, this letter, I wish for thou to post on Onion and see about posting it on Kiwi as well, for this is of utmost importance. I have heard confirmations from Barbara that she has not received many visitors or donations to the Sonichu Temple, as I had decreed and requested of thee all. I feel mild disappointment, but it is not too late. I shall offer direct instructions. In regards to all monetary donations to be utilized to pay off the temple's mortgage, less than $90,000 at present, there is no option online at all in doing this, even with PayPal, since it's not confirmable to Barbara or I at present to check its balance, unless we're talking about old-fashioned money orders. Mainly, cashier's checks and cash, in amounts of no less than $10 per person. But go for sending more than 100 if able, can be sent directly and made out to none other than Barbara Weston Chandler at 14 Branchland Court, Reckersville, Virginia, whatever. Absolutely no gift cards are to be sent to her or the address of the Sonichu Temple at all. As for food, this is best offered to Barbara in person. Barbara has been fully vaccinated of COVID-19, so all are safe to be near her, as long as thou art kindest and positive vibrations in intentions and aura, with no ulterior motives at all. Just a note, even if you have the vaccine, that doesn't mean you can't carry COVID, so maybe still avoid going around old people. Food delivery services that have been paid in full for and sent to Barbara is okay. She is not picky, nor does she have any allergies. Fresh fruit in low quantities, especially bananas, is okay. No pizza allowed during my jail presence. Orange juice, Tropicana, canned vegetables and soups, packaged tuna, no cans in small quantities, oatmeal, cream pies, the cookie, cans of pedigree, chicken, beef, dog food, and who cares? Nobody cares. In-person social interactions and genuine, kind, good vibration, and good intention people are what is best for her as well. She is intellectual and spirit, as long as the topics are not too personal and safe for work. I encourage thou to visit, talk with her, and listen to her stories. She is likely reluctant to be interviewed, so no recording devices while in her presence. Ask her first if she is okay to be in a selfie photo with Thou. Thou may ask her to be interviewed, on-site only at the Sonichu Temple and outside. So he's saying don't interview her, but also you can interview her. Like, Barb seemed to like that one guy who was doing the Chris Chan documentary that got canceled, so I'm sure she's not going to hate every single person that shows up on the doorstep, but at the same time, this being posted on the wider internet is probably going to open it up to just horrible, horrible people. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that anybody who turns up on the doorstep is going to be good and well-intentioned. Once you get a big enough audience, there's bound to be some psychopaths in it, and the audience for Chris Chan is like over 100,000 people. So that's great. That's great. Chris continues, also, Thou may continue to donate to my inmate account online through the Central Virginia Regional's jail website, but again, it is not mandatory, and I would rather the large sums of monies be used to pay off the Sonichu Temple's mortgage as quickly as possible, as well as the remaining debts I require during the remaining time in jail, as well as an AM/FM radio, Bible, and Quran. If anything, at most, I only would require about $50 per week to keep good stock in good food, including the instant soups, mac and cheese, jalapeno cheese squeezers. I don't know why that just sounds funny. Tea with lemon powder mix, pens, papers, envelopes, stamps, toothpaste, deodorant, triple antibiotic ointment, soap bars, and batteries for the radio. I humbly and directly thank each and every one of you all who have donated so far. Know and feel the blessings and enlightened vibrations I had further personally bestowed onto thee as promised. Kenneth, I know thou can personally testify of my abilities and powers as God, how thou hath been blessed since your earliest kind donation. To all, I bid thee go forth with peace and clarity by my power, glory and authority as God. Keep the faith, and have no doubt of me. My second coming is nigh, and so is Judgment Day, after, upon the minority of toxics. Be safe and well with love, Mrs. Christine... Yeah, we know. P.S. Kenneth, I have manifested and enclosed a repurposed holy label with my with my neo-spiritual Christianity symbol logo on it. Laminate it or cover it with shipping tape. Attach it to any bottle, mainly for water and non-alcoholic beverages, to enjoy thy liquid consumptions with my blessing safely from that bottle. Thank you. Yeah, because if there's one kind of liquid that Jesus doesn't bless, it's definitely alcohol. Jesus is not known to ever have blessed alcohol. Oh my god, it's just the inside of a Coke label. This is amazing. The joy of gods, goddesses, the heavens, and the recombined new earth, Lord Messiah and Savior, and then Christian's long signature. Wow. Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you, Chris. Alright, so we're finally going to be getting to the month of November in this November recap video, and it starts with a phone call. So I would play the video for you, but the audio quality is actually really terrible. The person who made the phone call also cut out all of their own audio, meaning that we can only hear Chris, and so it isn't extremely helpful because we just hear his answers to questions. So I've basically summarized it here for you. Chris is once again complaining about how he was held down when he was in elementary school while throwing a tantrum. Our assumption is that the person who was recording the phone call asked Chris how he felt about being treated in prison compared to the other things that he'd been treated wrongly from in life. Chris tells a story about how one of the letters that he received in jail was from his father, who Chris calls Robert Chew. Keep in mind that Chris does not think there's a difference between the real-life version of his father and the fictional version of his father in the comic book, and thus he calls both Robert Chew. Chris tore the letter up and flushed it down his toilet. It's unclear if the letter was written from the perspective of the real Robert, which would probably talk about how disappointed he was in what Chris did to his mother and stuff like that, or if it was written from the perspective of Robert Chew, the fictional Sonichu character, and who knows what that character would say to Chris. Chris says that he can tell which letters are from trolls because he has his magic foreseeing power. Chris mentions one of the Praetors and seems to think that he'll help him publish Sonichu stuff once he's out of jail. I have no idea if the Praters have given up on Chris now that he's been arrested for sleeping with his mom, but Chris certainly should not assume that any of his old friends from the outside will still be there for him when he gets out. And he also talks about how he was really just soul bonding with Barb and healing her. That seems to be a very common way of him dismissing what he did, and that's probably just how he's coping with it now that he got caught. And that's really it. That's all that the phone call had. Except for he also said that he likes Subway sandwiches. Alright, this is Chris's next letter. It is dated November 8th. It's to a random user. So we have, "Hey, censored. This letter will be short and direct to answer your questions that we don't get to see. And I encourage you and grant you consent to share my responses online." So then he's going to list his answers to questions we don't know, and we have to use context clues. "Most of the officers and higher ranks and nurses have been good with me. The minority numbers were aloof, indifferent." So Chris has said this several times, where during his year where he and Sonichu swapped bodies, him in Sonichu's body, so in the other universe, he wrote more Sonichu books. And so the reason that he's not going to be writing more Sonichu books here in this body is because after the dimensional merge, which is happening any day now, guys, we're just going to be able to read them. Because he's already written them. So anyone who's asking or thinking we're ever going to get more Sonichu, as long as he believes in the merge, the answer is no. We are never getting more Sonichu. So he's saying, yes, the books are continuing, but no, they're really not. Also, as of August 1st, 2021, everything involving the main special Sonichus, Rosechus, and I, and the nation of Quickville, the entire state of Virginia as well, that has not been written or drawn by I and or my body's hands, backup soul, or brain, are absolutely not canon with our timeline set of universes, here, with Quickville in that, obviously. So that's basically just him going back and saying that the Idea Guys stuff is not canon, which is fine. So we can just rewind and say that the only thing canon is everything written or drawn or thought by anyone in fanfiction are all distant alternate timelines and distant alternate universes, completely divided and separate from this timeline, period. He also doesn't like other people's fanfictions, so when other people say that Quickville was nuked or that Sonichu eats people, it's just not canon, guys. You lot have no conscious clue how much damage control and prevention the superheroes, gods and goddesses, Magi-Chan, Angelica, Sonichu, Rosie Rosechu, and I do to keep everything in Universe 1C2198, whatever. So, the good people and the neutral people are going to cross over. I wonder what's going to happen if he gets out of jail and Magi-Chan, and every psychic type. Or if he means I, Magi-Chan, and every psychic type. I don't know if he means he is Magi-Chan or if it's a list of 3 different things. I'm going to assume it's a list of 3 different things. I, Magi-Chan, and every psychic type in the know and involved foreknew all about Bella, yes, sure, and the setup and her want to tempt me into suicide. The leak was a divine test upon her that she was expected to fail at, and we had great optimism in all avoiding the drama and rumor. Unfortunately for you all, enough had failed that test as well, and I'm separated from thou pointless toxicities and dramas to better heal myself. Oh my god, better self-heal myself. What's the point of testing people if you know they're gonna fail? Unfortunately, because you can't push my body around, or I as well. What? Malachi 3:13, your words have been stout against me, saith I the Lord. And the soldiers of heaven's armies are doing their work, for I and the majority upon the minority, toxics among you all. What? So he's saying that him and Magi-Chan and whatever knew that Bella and her trolls were messing with him. And so it was a test, but he knew that she was going to fail. So the real test was for how the population was going to respond to the leaked phone call. And we would have succeeded by not believing in the rumors that he himself made by saying them on the phone call, but we failed that test. Okay. And then he ends it by saying, soul bonding is as far as it went, no further comment. I'm guessing that's in response to Barb. So he's still denying that they, did anything wrong, but I don't know what his definition of soul bonding is. So that's rough. If his lawyer asked him, hey, did you do this? And Chris responded, no, we soul bonded. I don't know what that means. The next question, I'm guessing, was asking Chris what he does for fun. He says, half a basketball court and a basketball. meditation, book reading, writing, drawing, and solitaire on the prayer rug, and present tense. There are both men and women in this jail. Do not be bigoted with such a dumb question. I shall return to the Sonichu Temple, and all shall be forgiven. I have read Revelations. Yes, I am God. Last thing, Mary Lee Walsh, under the agreements and genuine friendship between her and I, continues to work as mayor of Quickville, city of under Christine Weston Chandler. What? Goddess, oh lord, Sabrina Kuka Chandler. Who is that? I'm guessing this is just Chris's alternate form? It's definitely a version of Chris somehow, because there's the CWC initials on the boobs, and there's an S chew ball strapped to her arm. Very weird. His last name is Chandler. Why? Okay, so he's still talking about Mary Lee Walsh, and he says, she has time for elections when us goddesses defend Quickville. From Ray freaking Wrights, Eggman, Bowser, Giovanni, and so on occasion. And we have the dimension merge completed and the collective shift in progress. Then we have my second coming on 1218 Earth. Not to mention the damage control and prevention that are beyond non-super powerful individuals' control. So he's just saying that Mary Lee Walsh is in control. She's the mayor of Quickville. Meditate on all that and try to repent genuinely, Toxics, because your time is soon up. Go forth in peace and clarity with all that. By my power, glory, and authority as God. And then he signs it, of course. And then there's a little picture of the Sonichu cross. Oh lord. Okay, so this letter was published by a YouTube channel called Stories from the Penitentiary. So unlike the other letters, these are not from people who are Christorians and follow Chris. These are from people who follow people who are in jail, and Chris just happens to be one of them. So I have no problem saying their YouTube channel's names. Now, their actual first name is blanked out. So on November 8th, Chris writes, "Hello, blank. What do you know? I just flew in from Kokomo. Little joke aside." What? "Little joke aside, I've received both of your letters, and I am humbled to hear you counting all of your blessings. That is one good way to keep yourself on your own right path of life. I also appreciate your respect. To answer your questions, no, my body has not yet traveled through Atlantic City or Jersey. Gotham City is also in New Jersey, you know. But in my goddess work, while astral manifested, I visited Jersey a few times." I'm guessing that Letters from the Penitentiary is a New Jersey-based YouTube channel then. "Virginia is actually a beautiful state in most of its locations between the cities and the country scenery and suburbs, not to mention the Blue Ridge Mountains. The parks, trails, and nature areas are clean and lovely in Charlottesville. I get a very good number of letters, mostly kind and good, with a very small percentage trollish bad with hate and fake. But does he know? Like, that one guy who wrote Ian Brandon Anderson in Arabic, does he know that that guy was trolling? Because I don't think he did. So that means that whoever this very small percentage of trollish bad and hate and fake people are must be very obvious. Counting you, more than 35 individuals have written to me. Wow. But my envelopes and stamps, even paper for a while, was limited, and I've had to divinely select who to respond to. First arriving to jail and the treatment, let me preface a bit. In that live recording of my being arrested, I literally foreknew long beforehand of the eventual circumstances, as well as the outcomes at present. The positivity I exuded was genuine in feeling, for out of all of the possibilities, I foreknew and counted the jail time was overall best for distancing myself from the pointless drama, from the response of everyone who failed the divine test, to not fall for the drama from the leak that we gods had set up as one of the events needed to happen. So once again, he's claiming that he didn't actually do anything wrong. He knew that Bella was going to leak the audio on purpose, even though Bella was not the one who leaked the audio, and we all failed by believing Chris at his own word. I thought his own word was God. Are we not supposed to trust God when he talks to us? This was best for me and my body's self-healing, revelations, and all leading up to my second coming not too long from now. With that said, Central Virginia's regional jails' initial vibrations were positive, and was a major good selling point to this place. Selling point. It was a good selling point to jail. He had to buy jail. at least from more than half of the staff. Treatment has been mostly well and good. I did not have noisy neighbors in medical block, but in booking block, well, at the low price of 80 cents, the earplugs are the best $1 investment one can make in the commissary. Mildly pudding, anyway. Most of the officers and higher ranks, as well as the medical staff, I get along well with, mainly due to their aura and vibrations being more genuine, positive, and a lot less ignorant and mildly toxic. I do not interact with other inmates often, especially since they've opted to keep me separated from them for my safety. That's good. Frankly, it is for the better, as I innately meditate 24/7, 365 plus 1. And I'd be an alicorn. What? And I'd be an alicorn mixed with a lot of earth ponies, metaphorically. Yeah, these guys would probably beat Chris up if he knew that he just called them all earth ponies. The other inmates would likely plot against me on dramatic, even demon-manipulated impulse. Time passing, I meditate, let my body bide its energy in conservation, and during the local time zone night hours, and sometimes into the day, I astral manifest and work. My body has infinite energy in its core, and has slowly outputted and manifested an overpowered backup soul for itself from a partial soul. Chris Chan has a Horcrux? Perspective. Bart's Soul episode of The Simpsons is a classic episode where Bart sells his soul, by which I mean that he writes Bart's soul on a piece of paper and then he sells it, and then he stops being able to feel happiness until he gets it back. That's the context. Bart's Soul episode of The Simpsons. With his soul lost, Bart's body, with its not infinite core energy, manifested a partial soul. But since it had very little time, support, or ability to better itself, it degraded. My body has had the time, ability, and support from me, Magi-chan, Krizel, and everyone. So this fancy hotel with penthouse, with all its vast, expansive space, internally, has us pair of overpowered individual souls that can work very well together or apart. Okay, so the way that I can understand that is that Chris took his soul and split it in half, and so now half of it's going off and doing something. Me putting my hand like all the way over here does not work when I have a green screen, woo! So then his other half, instead of being half of a soul with half of the power, expanded to fill the space, the penthouse apartment space where a soul goes, that a full soul would fill. So because of his love with Magi-chan and stuff, it is now the power of a full soul. So really he has 1.5 souls now. I'm not going to tell him that because he said that souls were infinite, that means that splitting it in half just gives you 2 infinites. Because that's what he's saying. Which means that when he says that souls have infinite energy, he's technically correct. Because if you split infinity in half, it's still infinity. It might be a smaller infinity, but it's still infinity. The optional baptism at, this is the church he went to, Wesley Memorial something, whatever, his church, and my 0.01% Ashkenazi Jewish genetics. Oh my lord. Whew. Okay, so his baptism and the fact that he's part Jewish, those are apparently helpful, spiritual, supportive bonuses. Other than that, I write in a daily goddess log journal, and I am not the only one who has written in it, as you will be able to read in the future publishing of these pages after my second coming and shifting the majority to Earth-C-12 whatever. He says he's not the only one who wrote in it. I'm guessing he means other fictional characters have written in it. He's also done some pacing, some good stretches, and yoga too. And thanks for the blessings from my followers. I also like making ramen noodle soup, which is crushed noodles and mostly chicken soup, in a 2002 Coca-Cola bottle, and eating good out of a 2002 tumbler plastic cup with lid. Why specifically that old? I also play solitaire with a deck of cards on the red, white, gold, and green trim prayer rug, genuinely Turkish. I also sleep on a prayer rug on my bed, very comfy. I've personally blessed these 2 rugs. Books. I've read Bishop's Pawn, Love's Secret Storm, Inheritance, book 4 of the Aragon series, 3 contemporary romance stories that were retellings of Jane Austen's books, and I also have my own copies of the Holy Bible, the King James Version, and Quran. Not to knock Muslims, but the Quran is Family Guy. What? And the Bible is The Simpsons. What? Muslims actually do pray to the one same God. my mother, formerly father, Emmanuel, and I. They may as well be Bible readers. That is what they are doing. But I digress. What is happening? But I digress. R.L. Stein and Don LaSham are my top two favorite authors. Goosebumps, and then a book about himself are his two favorites. Playing Tetris 99 and watching videos through internet streaming, these amenities at least. Tetris 99, he's a Switch in prison? Like, I'm guessing there's a common room, and he's been playing a Switch. That's weird. I astral manifest. I'm always free while my body works hard within the cosmos, universe, and Akashic finer details. What worry about COVID? My body has been #fully vaxxed. I guess they don't tell him about the booster shot in prison. Or maybe they give him the booster shot in prison. It's jail, not prison. And lastly, while only individual drawings have been made here, he's not written any comic books. And I've written and drawn well over 100 Sonichu books in the other Earth. I write, affirm, and tell you this. Since my arrest on August 1st, 2021, all things Sonichu and Rosechu not written by I, for my body's hands, or drawn, are not canon or have happened in this timeline with our set of universes within it, including 1C211987, period. Every fanfiction writing or mischroniclings of Sonichu Prime, Rosie Rosechu, I, and everyone else are all, in full 100% certainty, distant, alternate timelines and universes that do not touch Earth 1218 or Earth 1C211987, Equestria included, at all. I encourage you to tell everyone online about their efforts, including Helena with Pikachu. So now he's saying that Pikachu is not canon at all, which is not what he said previously. Pikachu and everyone's OCs that have been made aware to me do either reside or visit 1C211987, but the gods, goddesses, Magichan, the superheroes, and I, and my body, we do heavy damage control and prevention. This is for everyone's safety and benefit for when we shift the majority at my second coming. So Pikachu can go to that universe, but he can't be a superhero there, I guess. I bless you and your family, the person's name. Also, I've enclosed a repurposed and personally blessed bottle label. You may make up to 5 photocopies of it, laminate them proper or with shipping tape, the original 2, and affix them to any 20-ounce bottles for personally blessed water and non-alcoholic beverages. What? Oh, it's Fanta. He made a Fanta label. Or a Fanta for you people who say it wrong. The joy of gods, goddesses, the heavens, and the recombined new earth. That's beautiful. Alright, and finally, we have Gel Letter from November 16th, also to Kenneth. Hey Kenneth, I have not heard from you in a while, so I thought I'd write to you once again. Okay, so there has not been a letter between these last 2 letters to Kenneth, so he's not going to be answering any questions. I am certain you've been keeping yourself very well and safe. Are you enjoying the indirect popularity from kiwi farms, as well as the direct increase on your onion farms? Also, I and my body have read some of the Quran, including all of chapter 19, as you recommend. My light went out and there's a dog barking. I do appreciate your earlier hierarchy/spirituality level comparisons between Judaism, Muslim, and Christianity. Rest assured, my personal updates on Christianity to neo-spiritual Christianity in the near future after my second coming shall offer even higher levels of spirituality and even freedom. Anyway, the Quran is literally all over the place, not to offend nor make a jest, but there's only some new insights and takes heavily from the Bible. The Quran is to the Bible as Family Guy is to The Simpsons. And with the fact that Allah is actually a god manifested from a piece of my mother, Emmanuel, the Muslims have been indirectly praying to her through Allah. I'm sure the Muslims in my audience love having their religion explained to them by Chris Chan. The Muslims would actually do better to be more open-minded to and for other religions, including Christianity, as well as greater spirituality, so they are not binding themselves from the greater truths and insights. Oh Lord. I had spoken with Allah, and he was greatly concerned over his followers in Islam, as they are so heavily strict, defensive, violent, and closed off from other inputs. But I digress. Alright, that means we have to take a drink. We're not doing shots anymore, we're hydrating whenever he says that. I also ended up getting a second prayer rug to keep on my bed for sleeping on. Feels nice in the material as well, and I have personally blessed it as well. Have you slept on a prayer bed rug, Kenneth? I recommend it for spiritual boosting. That sounds sacrilegious, but I don't know. Now, the reason for this letter. I have received a list of 10 questions from a faker who did not hide the fact in their surname they used of general nature about my jail experiences. What? So I'm guessing that this person used a fake last name that made it clear that they were trolling. I would like you to post this Q&A on The Onion on my behalf, please, Kenneth. And just an acknowledging fourth wall break to all reading this online. To all haters, fakers, and toxics out of the minority. I am afraid I'll have to disappoint you all, since while my body has had few emotional breakdowns, and a lot of you in your distant, alternate universe fanfictions that see me in low functioning, over 250-pound weight, and abysmal ability to adapt, I, Mrs. Jesus Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu, writing this on November 16th, 2021, have actually adjusted well, maintain higher functioning mentality, emotions, and spirituality, and my weight had dropped to 203 pounds, which is actually appropriate to my human form's 5 foot, 11 inch height. Laugh, scoff, or jest as thou may and likely will, but know that in this, while my answers remained hand over heart honest and direct, I am trolling you all back in this as well. Lols. Also, you may or may not read about it in my published Goddess Logbook after my second coming, if you are not left behind. So he might publish his Goddess Log, which is the diary that he's writing in prison, but I'm also fairly certain that the Goddess Log is only being written in the other dimension and does not really exist. That being stated, here are 10 Q&As in response to the faking Joe Mama. 1. What does your daily life in jail consist of? Do you have a schedule? What do they have you do on a daily basis? Any chores or jobs? And here's his answer. As stated before, I meditate innately, as well as consciously, for the majority and whole of my body's time in jail. I leave my body to work with the superheroes, OP individuals, and my fellow gods and goddesses, and Sonichus and Rosechews, on the event works and damage control and damage prevention for the benefit of the majority who will shift to 1C211987 Earth. On that, everything not drawn, written, or thought by I and or my body are absolutely not canon or effective upon all universes within this timeline, including this 1218 Earth. So if he doesn't think it's not canon in reality, all universe of 1C211987, formerly C197, and Equestria, Gen 5 My Little Pony is not canon at all in this timeline, and so forth, as of the date, August 1st, 2021. So anything prior to that, he was able to pick and choose if he wanted it to be canon, but anything that's been written or drawn after his arrest date is not canon. Other than that, some drawing from time to time, lots of writing. I have read a few books from the jail's library, and over time, lots of solitaire gameplay on the prayer rug on the floor, and, more recently, music from the radio. The only scheduled details are 2 early breakfast, brunch, and tea time supper, as well as a daily shower with Bob Barker soap or Irish Spring soap, water washcloth, and shampoo and towel. I also brush my... Why does the brands matter? Why do the brands matter, Chris? I also brush my teeth with Colgate toothpaste, and every other day apply Ladies Speed deodorant. No chores or jobs. Question number 2. Have you made any friends / what are they like, and what have you learned from them? Answer. I'm not allowed to associate much with the other inmates, and I've made allies out of most of the police and medical staff. I have learned what I needed to for my consciousness from them in confirmation of the preceding events. Question number 3. How is the food and cell? What kind of food do they give you? Is it good? Have they assigned you to help in the kitchen at all? What is your jail cell like? Is it comfortable? Do they give you a pillow and blanket? Do you have a cellmate? Are they pretty cool? Answer. Mostly good, but the boneless chicken breast is dry, and the meatballs from a banquet TV dinner are better than the meatballs here. Typical foods, including vegetables, like you'd find in a TV dinner. Mostly good, not right home about it quality, but good. No estoy en la cocina. That means I don't like in the something. I don't speak Spanish. On the quickie page for this letter, there's a hyperlink, and I thought it was going to translate it for me, but it just brings me to the page about him being bad at Spanish. My cell is roomy enough, and long with the standard bidet and toilet and mattress with enclosed pillow. The cell is comfortable enough, got cold, so I got and wear 2 thermal tops, 2 long johns, and 2 pairs of socks. Not Joey Tribbiani, stocky, that one episode of Friends, but I am warm. Guys, I hate to admit it, but I've never watched Friends, so I don't get the reference. The pillows in the mattress. They give me 2 bedsheets and a thick enough blanket in wool, I believe. No inmate cellmate, but I am never alone since I have Magichan and the others, my ally highest level, rank, and trained psychic and engrossed Pokemon, including some of the Sonichu and Rosechu Psychic Squad, and a large number of angels from the Heaven Realm, as well as over 10 million good and neutral spirits, souls, and entities in my body's conduits, My body's conduit subdimension to house them all. His body, like his physical body, has a heaven dimension inside it? That's very weird. Question 4. How clean are you keeping? Do they require you to shower daily? Answer. Very clean, and I am encouraged to, yes. Question 5. Have you been in trouble while in jail? Have they put you in solitary confinement or something? If so, what did you do to get in trouble, and what was your punishment? Answer. Once, and the details have been written in my goddess log pages. In short, I try to enlighten the stage by highlighting a portal. You have to wait for the book publishing to read more on that. Just a note, Chris's letter says the staff, but the quickie transcribed it wrong, and they say he was enlightening the stage. So yes, Chris was possibly thrown in solitary confinement for trying to point out a portal to guards. Question 6. What do they let you do in your free time? Do you listen to the radio or watch TV? Answer. See question 1. But whatever I like and can do with my local resources. I have an AM, FM, JWIN radio. No TV. Question 7. How is funding there? Do they provide you with basic needs, clothing, and the like? How do you make money to buy paper and pens for these letters you're writing? Answers. Staff do not provide funding. Yes, the basics and some paper upon request, as well as pens. I get money from the kind donations from my good and genuine majority of followers and viewers like you. Thank you. Chris is PBS now. That means that these letters are like a public broadcast show. They're like Arthur. Question number 8. Why are you in jail? Are you aware that what you did was wrong? Answer. I am in jail because Bella failed her divine test with the leak she ended up altering, and Noel failed and betrayed me when he blabbed and snitched the transfer funds of my hotel room, which I have paid back in full, and the divine test on the common online public, including you all. Enough have failed to disregard the rumors and the temptation of drama that all of you get punished now with my online absence. You all blew it. And I've soul bonded, cuddled, and supportively talked in healing the aura and chakras, and absolving the sins and regrets of Barbara. Soul bonding does not necessarily constitute sex. Had I not healed her, she would be dead late August. That is disturbing. There is nothing wrong in this divine mission from my mother, Emmanuel, that I have fulfilled. Think deep, meditate, reevaluate your choices, and repent, haters and fakers. Number 9. Question 9. If you are found not guilty, what do you expect to happen next if you should get out of jail? What about if you're found guilty? Answer, not guilty. I know all will resume well and good, period. If found guilty and not allowed to return home, premature apocalypse for everyone. Seriously, not good at all. That's something. I'm imagining now Chris being in court, and he just stops and yells at the jury and says that if you convict me, apocalypse for everyone. Question number 10. How do you feel about your case and lawyer? Are you confident in his ability to defend you in court? Answer. Haleberg is very skilled and intelligent. I have great confidence and faith in his abilities, as well as greater faith in the outcome. No spoilers. Yeah, okay. I shall see you all again online once more, not long from now, and then adios to the minority lot of you with Judgment Day. Her holy flame shall dissolve you. Remember, repent and take care in the meantime. Go forth with that clarity by my power as God, and then he signs it. This might be the most disturbing letter since the first one where he declared that he was Jesus. If he's found guilty, it's literally the apocalypse. That is fantastic. Besides those letters, there's just something I've already gone over in my series Week in Weird, which is also found on this channel, and that's that his court hearing didn't happen. It's supposed to happen in the middle of November, but has instead been pushed back to February 3rd. So, yeah, we'll probably have more to talk about then. Obviously, I'll be doing another monthly update for the month of December, and then the month of January, and then I'll probably be covering the hearing instead of waiting for the end of February. So two videos in February, I guess. Besides that, I do have the Week in Weird series, which comes out every Monday. Sometimes I touch upon Chris if there's something major going on with him. But otherwise, if you're just here for Chris Chan, I will have these monthly videos. I'm also looking into making other series talking about Sonichu. There's other related comics like Asperchu and Moon Pals. So there is still going to be a lot more Chris Chan content. It's just obviously the modern updates are drawing to a very slow conclusion, with his trial still being several months away. You can follow me on Twitter at GIBI_Devin. Make sure to leave a comment below telling me if you like my new microphone or not. And leave a like, because you can't do dislikes anymore. Toothpaste, deodorant, triple antibiotic ointment,